Hello everyone, it's your boy Colin, and today I'm going to be talking about why I love the Terrifier movies and what I think of each and every one of them, and that includes All Hallows Eve. Right now I'm trying to figure out how to put in movie clips in our YouTube movie review videos. Basically what most YouTubers do, like how they put movie clips in their videos during their reviews. If anyone knows how to do that like other people do, comment down below, please. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the Terrifier movies and why I love the series itself. Now I'm going to talk about All Hallows Eve. All Hallows Eve, I'll say, was a mid-start to the series. This was he was just fake. Damien Leone, who I love, one of my favorite filmmakers for making this series, was just figuring it out. Basically, the story itself, he was at least figuring it out. The film itself wasn't good, like I said, it was mediocre. Art's portrayal, I'll say here, is pretty underrated. The actor here did a good job playing him. I like the first act and the third act. The second act of the movie just sucked. I did not like the whole alien stuff. It was just boring and did not go anywhere. The second segment is what I'm talking about. But yeah, I think the actor did a good job playing Art, making him look very serious. The third act, the third segment, which I assume you all might have guessed, is my favorite part of the movie because of how we get to see Art killing people, like at the gas station, and killing people by following a girl around in her car and eventually I think killing her. And by the end of the movie where he comes out of the TV at the babysitter's house and kills those kids in their room. There is also something to love about the Terrifier movies, and that is the gore / the kills. They are extremely inventing and extremely awesome. Even if they are very over the top, that's what I love about it, how over the top it is. I love over the top kills in these kinds of movies. That's what makes it fun and enjoyable. And now on to the first Terrifier movie. I'll say this was a decent but not great movie. I will say there are parts of the film that do drag, like in the middle, like some filler nonsense with the mother and her daughter Emily, that mentally ill lady. And I'll say David Howard Thornton is one of the other reasons why I love the Terrifier franchise. He always nails it, never fails to make me laugh, and always impresses me every time he's playing Art on screen. And sure, yeah, the set of characters here are not very good, like Dawn, Tara, and Victoria, who are not very good and have little to no depth to them. I will say, as for Victoria, I didn't really like her much in this one because there wasn't really much for her to earn the final girl spot. It was more aimed towards Tara, because Tara had more screen time than Victoria. And I'll say this about Victoria. She got more interesting in Terrifier 2 and 3. So basically she became more interesting in the sequels. And her character was better. So even though the movie is plotless and the characters are paper thin, this will definitely be a movie where you find yourself rooting for Art the Clown to kill these characters. And what makes this movie decent is the fun I had, Art the Clown himself, and David Howard Thornton's charismatic performance that he always puts up. So the way to describe this one is Damien was just figuring it out. But then Terrifier 2 came out and showed that Damien pretty much figured it out with a more fleshed out story, more fleshed out characters, and a lot more gore and fun added, plus more character development and depth. And one of the other reasons why I love this series is Sienna. Sienna is like one of the best characters to be ever seen in a horror film. As a final girl, she is amazing. And you can easily find yourself rooting for her because of how likable she is and how well developed she is and the depth she is given. And she felt like a second mother to Jonathan because of how much she cared for her little brother. And speaking of Jonathan, I'll talk about him right now. He's one. I love the dynamic between him and Sienna. It's just what carried this film, and how much you can find yourselves rooting for both of them, and that you actually care for both of them. Jonathan, I love how much he knew and tried to warn Sienna about what was going to happen, and they didn't. And Sienna and his mom did not listen to him, even though he was trying to warn them. Oh boy, now I have to talk about Barbara. What can I say about her? She is insufferable. She's a well-written character that's shitty, but I just don't like her because of how cold and dismissive she was, especially towards Jonathan, and refusing to believe him and not listen to him. And it's so much so that she deserved to die, and she's one of the characters they can probably root for to die, and you want her to die. And as for the little pale girl, though she did feel a little out of place at times, she was at least very compelling and very interesting, especially with her abilities to mimic people's voices like she did to Jonathan's, and pretend to be other people like she did to Barbara, and show people visions of what happened to that person, like showing that they died, like how she showed Sienna how her mother died. So overall, Terrifier 2 is a solid movie. It's solid, but it's not great. I still have a fun time with it, and it's still really fun to watch, and I love how the story's more fleshed out and how the characters are more fleshed out. Terrifier 3 is where Damien officially hit the victory lap within the Terrifier series. This is my favorite of the entire series, for now, I'll say. And the pacing here is so much better here than it was in Terrifier 2. Not that Terrifier 2's pacing was bad by any means, but it was slow. But I'm here to talk about Terrifier 3. So I saw this in theaters back in November 2024, and I had absolute blast watching it. The kills really scared me, especially the bedroom scene was intense. And the shower kill was like, oh my gosh, did they really think they could go that far? And I obviously love that we got to see more of my goat Art in this movie. He's more funny and more meaner in this movie. There were lots of funny moments where I still laugh at it. It's still funny to this day that he does in the movie. Like what he did to that fake Santa. And the way he smacked Sienna in the third act was just so funny. I also loved the way that this was set around Christmas, like how Terrifier 2 is set around Halloween. Maybe Terrifier 4 could be around Easter or Thanksgiving. I don't know, I'm just speculating. As for Victoria, like I was talking about earlier, she is way more compelling and interesting here as a sidekick for Art. And she works so well that she was just awesome to watch, especially in her Art costume. That's her best look and her most iconic look to me. And I loved the way how she was taunting Sienna. And this is where the little pale girl possesses Victoria. And Victoria has the demonic entity inside of her. Sienna, I'll say, is still very likable and very compelling in this one. I love that we get to see her trauma and her PTSD and how much it's gotten to her and how much it's affected her. And going to the psychiatric hospital after the events of the second movie, after losing her mother and her friends from what she experienced. As for Jonathan, while I was disappointed that he got less screen time, he still was somewhat good for what he got, though I was still disappointed that he got very little screen time than he should have gotten. And also, there's that big controversy at the end of Terrifier 3, whether he is dead or not, because of Victoria presenting a skull that she claimed to look like his, when earlier she said it was Gabby's to taunt Aunt Jess. And if you ask me, I don't think Jonathan is dead. That's what I'll say. I don't think Jonathan is dead at all. There's no way they would kill him off screen. Because, yeah, the death was off screen. And I'm not buying it, to be honest. Mia, I'll say, was like the worst part of this movie because of how much she treated Sienna and Jonathan like they were celebrities. She was very insensitive towards them. And the question she asked Sienna, like, how she's coping with everything. And I'm like, is that how you ask people that went through a traumatic experience? You just ask how they're coping? Seriously? But yeah, Sienna was right to snap at her because Mia was just very insensitive. And she's one of those characters where you want her to die because of how much you loathe her and that you're happy that she died. So overall, Terrifier 3, I'll say, was just great. And my favorite in the series because this is where Damien hit the victory lap within the Terrifier series. And I can't wait till he levels up with Terrifier 4. And now I'll talk about Terrifier 4. And as you guys might have guessed, I am extremely excited for Terrifier 4. Because in this film, we'll be seeing Sienna going into hell to rescue Gabby. And yeah, I'll add that I liked Gabby. But yeah, she'll be doing that. And we'll get to see Art's origins within the first 15 to 20 minutes. But here's what I do want them to do with Art's origins. I want them to just show and not tell his origins. Because that will be interesting. And that's what you should always do. Show, don't tell. I also hope that they will give us some clarity on whether Jonathan is dead or alive. If he really is dead, just show like a flashback of him, of when he died. Or if he's not, just bring him back. Because I think he should be alive. And he didn't. I don't think he is dead because there's no way they'd kill him off screen. But yeah, this is why these are my thoughts on Terrifier series and why I love this series. I love over the top gore, and I love cheesy, campy, and silly slasher fun. That's what I thrive on. The first Terrifier is that, I'll say. The sequels aren't and have more story than just more and less cheese. And that's all I have for today, guys. Bye.